The city of Detroit struggles with low voter turnout. Only 51% of eligible Detroit voters actually voted in last year's presidential election. Despite the low number, that was the best turnout the city had seen in the last 20 years. Less than 15% of eligible Detroiters voted in the August primary this year. This number leaves some Detroiters scratching their heads. Detroit resident Wilmore Allen says the importance of voting should be obvious to black people.
Well, it's a shame because, through slavery and, all the things that black people have went through and fought through just for the opportunity to vote, and they won't take it.
Sierra Davis is another Detroit voter who sees going to the polls as important.
If you want to see a change in the community, then that's your time to make your voice be heard and get out and vote.
So why are so few Detroiters showing up to the polls? Jerome Weber is a Detroiter who doesn't believe in voting.
Because I believe our votes don't go nowhere. And the only thing we voting for is the things that we think and hope for that's going to come to pass, which never come to pass. So this is why I don't believe in voting.
Weber said he believes no matter who he would vote for, nothing would actually change.
What do it have to benefit me to vote in this next election?
Detroiter Demetrius Knuckles strongly disagrees.
The vote does count. The only time a vote doesn't count is when you don't vote.
Knuckles spent 28 years behind bars before getting out of prison in 2018. He now works as a street team leader with Michigan Liberation, a grassroots organization focused on criminal justice reform. He now spends his time talking to people like Jerome, hoping to inspire them to vote. Knuckles says often, one of the reasons people don't vote is simply because they don't know they can.
People who are on parole, probation, they don't think that they could vote. People who are awaiting trial, they don't think that they could vote. You have people who have warrants out for their arrest. They don't think that they could vote.
Knuckles spends a lot of time working in areas of Detroit with low voter turnout, particularly in the city's 48205, 48215, and 48213 zip codes on the east side. Some of the precincts in this area had less than 3% voter turnout during the August primary. Knuckles says given some of the hardships facing thousands of Detroiters, he understands why a lot of them don't care about voting.
When you have been down like we have been down, and impoverished like we have been impoverished, and discriminated against like we've been discriminated against, we automatically are against the system that is discriminating against us and keeping us impoverished. So we don't want to vote for that system. Therefore, we don't think that our vote really matters in the grand scheme of elections.
According to census data, nearly a third of families in the 48213 zip code live in poverty. Knuckles says Detroiters who lack resources have bigger things going on than an election.
When people are down and hopeless, they have no money. He says, I'm broke, I don't have anything, I'm homeless. He do not care about an election.
Knuckles believes educating citizens on the importance of voting is the only way to overcome these challenges. But what about areas that have a different set of challenges, like Southwest Detroit? Gabriela Santiago Romero is running for city council in the 6th district, which includes Southwest Detroit. She says one of the big hurdles in those precincts is so many people living there weren't born in the U.S.
There's actually a lot of folks that can't vote right now, and those that can have not been engaged to do so.
Santiago Romero says immigrant-populated communities in Detroit have to deal with more problems than just the language barrier.
So I think folks in general, we are not asked or really told about the importance of our vote for every election. It's not something that we're practiced in doing. And then since it's not something that it's in practice, new immigrants, as soon as they can vote, often don't because it's not something that we practice here.
Her opponent in this race is Hector Santiago. He agrees that getting people to vote in municipal elections is important. That's why he's been going door to door, not only trying to get people to vote for him, but just to get them to vote.
As we've seen, there hasn't been no noise around the city council race or mayoral race, and it should be a lot of noise about this because this is actually as important as a presidential race because we are running a budget. We are doing ordinances, we're representing our districts, we are the public servant for our people. So,
and he feels he's responsible for getting people informed.
Oh my goodness, but if it's my district, it's my responsibility. If I'm running for it, I gotta educate my people, right? And I'm not, the clerk has her job or his job, right? But at the end of the day, I got my job. And if I want the people to know who I am and to come out and vote, I got to do my work. I got to educate my people why to vote, who to vote, why to vote, you know. But I'm not saying who to vote for, but these are the pros and cons, you know, because at the end of the day, education is key.
The city saw less than 20% of eligible voters cast ballots this time around, but that's about what city officials had expected since it wasn't a presidential election. That number could improve heading into next year's gubernatorial primaries in the spring. On Election Day, we caught up with Letitia Johnson, a city council candidate in District 4. Here's what she had to say about the voting process.
But I went at 7 o'clock this morning, so it was nice, clean, easy, simple.
Detroiter Hubert Edwards was happy to be among the relative few who voted in this most recent election.
Today to vote, and I vote. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
All righty. I voted.